Okay, so you may have had a spiritual experience like in the middle of the day recently. I wouldn't say that this is, I mean, it could be predictive, but I would say that this is more of a confirmation of something, you know. It could be predictive too, but like I'm picking up that for some of you, you could have been like in the middle of the day, I don't know, at work, at school, or whatever, at home, something, and felt like a rush of heat, like an intense hot flash. Okay, obviously make sure that there's no like medical reason for that happening, but it is sort of giving like spontaneous, like it's almost like a like inner fire being lit sort of thing, or like whatever resonates to you, like a kundalini, like going like pew. Okay, something, all right, out of nowhere, like at a time where you were in full alignment, so you were doing what you were supposed to be doing. So say that there have been things you were putting off, like I don't know, um like I don't know, deep cleaning your house, or reading a book, or studying something, or you finally like had this moment of realization of, you know what, everything's like going fine, and I'm like happy with the decisions that I've been making. And it happened in a moment like that where you were at full peace and in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, and it's almost giving that like in that moment you finally achieved or like matched like a certain vibration, like, is if you're asking for things from the divine, your ancestors or whatever, you know what I mean, you have to meet them halfway. It's sort of like say if there's somebody like standing on top of a wall, and they have their hand reaching down towards you, like they're ready to help you, lift you up, but you're just like looking up and like staring at them. They can't lift you up that way. So it's almost giving, in this moment, you finally like properly reached your arm up to full height, so that they were able to like grab you and like go like fling you up. Okay, and so for confirmation of this, I'm also getting something silly, like so it could be a pass on loved one too. It's like you finally, it's almost giving that like them like, I don't know, it's like you guys being able to be an energetic vibration enough to where they like literally like were able to like flick you on the forehead, and that like flick on the forehead kind of like, I don't know, it like flushed out a bunch of toxins from you. It sort of purified your energy. So there's a sense of like doubts that you had, things that you were overthinking about, like I'm here so hearing like it instilled boldness in you, which is different than like misguided arrogance. It's just like boldness kind of gives you the courage to take action towards doing the things that you need to do or desire to do for your highest and greatest good and whatnot. Um, say like it's sort of like hold on, like if there was something that you were battling with, it's giving like one of those moments where, and it depending on what your spiritual beliefs are or whatever, um you know I know a lot of people come from like Christian backgrounds and stuff like that. You could still be in there, safe place for everybody. Okay, but like it's like it could be something where you even had an addiction, or like there was something that you were still suffering from in regards to like a grief of like somebody's passing, or like or they're like breaking up. And in this moment it was almost like spirit, whoever, whatever you work with, or whoever you venerate, or just your higher self or whatever, like touched you and removed that thing from you to where you were like healed from it, you know, instantly. It's something to where you were like touched, or, not in a bad way, obviously, like in a good way, like in a divine way, okay? To where it removed whatever like internal like energetic blockages were there. If you want to think of it as like if there were like chakra blockages in that way that were like preventing you from making progress in certain areas, like feeling like you're having a hard time speaking up, or your mind was very, you felt like you could not overcome some sort of like mental distraction, or like you found it impossibly hard to focus or articulate yourself, or like make clear decisions, or trust your own judgment, or follow your heart, or whatever. It's like in that moment the obstacle was like removed. again, because it's like spirit like slapped you on the head and then it was just gone, okay? I'm also getting that in that moment, for some of you, it could have been like an activation of like dormant spiritual abilities, especially if you had ones that you know you had as a child that kind of like went to the wayside or faded or whatever. It was like a full activation of those. It could have been like instantly you were, you know, or it could have just been like the initiation of those coming back, because maybe it could be too destabilizing for it to be fully activated in that moment. But it's sort of like you know, if like a car engine is off and then and then it was like pressing it and like revving it up, and then you still have to like slowly accelerate to reach like the full speed or whatever when you take off, okay? So it's giving that like it started the engine or whatever, and then it's like you're slowly building it up so it's not overwhelming, right? But yeah, so um it's like, especially if you felt like any way that you were holding yourself back, that's been removed. um and it is coming through as something that was like, again, supernatural in nature. Like it was like a divine encounter, divine intervention, especially if like, say like technically in the 3D, in the physical realm or whatever, all the obstacles had been removed, but like then you were stuck in a mental prison about things. And because, and you know, I'm seeing almost like a bunch of like Pennywise is like dancing around in a circle around you, like taunting you and stuff like that. And it's like you got like smacked on the head, and then there was like this burst of energy, and then they got like you know, obliterated or whatever. So you're just like, oh wow, I finally have clarity of thought. Oh wow, I'm not overthinking things anymore. I'm not doubting myself. I don't feel fear. Like, oh wow, I suddenly don't have anxiety about anything. Oh wow, I suddenly don't feel depressed. You know what I mean? It's something like that. Let's see. I mean, some of you may register that as like a moment of being saved. I'm also seeing like I don't know how to phrase it. Like, but if this applies to you, you would get it, like that concept of like um I don't know, the Holy Spirit taking up residence within you like permanently or whatever. It's just like I don't really want to phrase it that way, but it could be. And for some of you, if there's like an egregore or whatever, if you want to think of it that way, of like the ideal version of yourself, and like how you would think, you know, and how you would operate, you know, it's like you finally maintain that vibration long enough for that like essence or being to sort of like fully occupy you, so that you can be that person who, you know, isn't afraid to take action on the things that are divinely aligned for you. You're no longer like held back by the like noise. It's sort of like it removed the noise, okay? And then there's like this like, it's like the noise cannot reapproach you, because again, with that like heat energy, I think that like I feel like, I don't know, thermodynamics or whatever, something in regards to like you know, obviously if there's a bunch of like energy that enters a space all at once, it like heats up. So it could have been like a sudden expanding of your aura, you know, an expanding of your consciousness, a sudden like whoop, like raise of your consciousness, and like a burning away of the old version of you, just all of a sudden, you know, so you don't even like think the way that you thought, you know, a week ago. It's just gone. It's gone. Like, you don't relate to the version of yourself even a week ago. That's the kind of energy. And like the way that you want to operate in the world, you're able to fully do that, and it's like natural. That's just like how you are now. And it is coming through as like a divine intervention sort of moment that happened in the middle of the day, where you just like are like that now. And so you can kind of like, if that has happened to you, you could just take it as confirmation that your goals or whatever are in alignment with like the highest and greatest good, and like it is being fully supported by whoever you venerate, even if that's just yourself, your higher self, okay? Because even if you're like an atheist or whatever, and like a skeptic, and don't really like believe in anything like that, you can't admit that there like is a version of you in the future, the same way there's a version of you in the past. There's a version of you in the present moment. I mean, I think that like if you look into like I don't know, quantum physics or whatever, you know what I mean? But it's almost like you finally like fully embodied and stepped into the future version of you, which is going to obviously like, so the future version of you knows how to reach your goals, right? Because they've already done it already. So that's kind of like, you're the version of yourself who knows how to achieve the dreams that you have, basically.